Let me bring in Ben LaBolt, National Press Secretary for the Obama campaign. Ben, good morning to you.
Good morning, Chris.
Look, again, not suggesting that anything that the president is doing is politically motivated, but it is the end of a campaign. He's getting high marks for his handling of the storm. There is also, I think Dana doesn't think so, but there are some people suggesting there are still potentials for problems. We're seeing very long lines for gas, people who are getting desperate in places like Hoboken. Let me play the mayor for you.
We need more food. We need more resources, so anyone who's listening to this in the city of Hoboken or neighboring towns who can get to us, we ask you to come and deliver your supplies. One thing that we truly need, we need more fuel.
Ben, even if FEMA absolutely does its job, and there's every indication that it is, there could still be images of desperate people come Monday, Tuesday. I know you'll want to say this is not political, but let me ask you about the implications. Is there a possible downside here for the president?
You know, the president is on this day and night. The administration is on this day and night. He put politics aside and ensured that federal resources were deployed to support the state's response efforts and to ensure that all the victims were taken care of. Those resources have been deployed. He's doing everything he can to ensure that the requests from states are met. And while he'll be on the trail today, he's still going to be focused on this and going to ensure that the states receive everything that they've requested and everything that they need. This is one of the worst storms in our memories, and the president is going to make sure that the federal government is very focused on this, that we cut through red tape and we ensure that the victims are taken care of.
Now, on the political side of this, each side has to decide what their closing message is going to be, especially as they are going practically 24/7 through these battleground states. Mitt Romney has been taking a softer tone. He didn't mention the president by name yesterday. He's laid off really his sharpest attacks. Let me play for you a little bit of Mitt Romney yesterday.
You should know I could not be in this race if I were not an optimist. I believe in the future of this country. I know we have huge challenges, but I'm not frightened by them. I'm invigorated by the challenge. We're going to take on these challenges. We're going to overcome them.
How much do you think has this storm affected how these last few days of the campaign will play out and what the message will be and how it will be delivered, Ben?
Well, the president's going to make his closing argument today in Wisconsin and Colorado and Nevada. He's certainly going to recognize the victims of the storm at the top of his remarks and note that this was a time for Democrats and Republicans to come together and take care of those victims of the storm. I actually think in the state of Ohio we've seen a little bit different tone from Mitt Romney this week. He's gotten himself into a battle with GM and Chrysler. He said that Chrysler is going to shut down Jeep production in the state of Ohio and scared a bunch of workers in the region. The auto companies have made clear that that's absolutely not true. So I think we've seen a little bit of desperation in his closing message.
And we have seen slight leads for the president in our new swing state polls. And in New Hampshire, Wisconsin, pretty close, almost a dead heat within the margin of error. I'm sure you saw what Karl Rove wrote today in the Wall Street Journal, that it comes down to numbers. And in the final days of this presidential race, from the polling data to early voting, he says they favor Mitt Romney, that Democrats are making a mistake because they're counting on inconsistent voters who may well not turn out. Could turnout be the difference in this election? Does Karl Rove have a point?
Well, I think turnout will make the difference in this election, and Republicans are betting on the fact that our coalition won't show up at the polls. But if you look into those early vote numbers, they already have. We've got a 60,000 vote lead in the state of Iowa. Across the country, it's a very diverse electorate so far. There are a lot of young people voting. There are a lot of women voting. This looks very much like the coalition that elected the president in 2008. I know the Republicans are focused on a whole slew of national polls. We're looking at the battleground states that will decide the election. And as you can see from NBC's polls today, they're very encouraging for the president.
Ben LaBolt, I know you've got a busy day today, but thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Good luck.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Dana, when you look at our polls, it might be tight, but the president does still have a lead. Nate Silver, the New York Times numbers guru, tweeted that Obama has a 78.4% chance to win the Electoral College. in his 538 forecast. His leads holding in these tipping point states. Right. Time waning, he says, for Romney. 5 days left. You know, the way we do this when we put up the battleground map is leans Obama, leans Romney, or dead in the middle. Where do you think this race is right now?
Well, I think it's very enjoyable to see Karl Rove come out with his projections because he does the exact same thing before every election, and the Republicans always win. So I think people should be onto his game at this point, that's just part of the spinning of expectations to rally people to the polls.
So are you saying lean Obama?
Well, yeah, it appears to be, you know, look, this election appears to be exactly where it's been all along, and it's kind of humbling for all of us who have, you know, spilled gallons of ink trying to see where this is going, but it's a very close race, and it continues to narrowly favor the president in the swing states. Really, over time, nothing has changed, and that's exactly where we were, you know, half a year ago, and here we are right now. Has
nothing changed, Molly? And I wonder if, and this was suggested this morning, that if Mitt Romney loses, he would blame it on Sandy.
I think there's been a lot of water under the bridge. I think it all matters. I don't think you can just go to sleep 6 months before Election Day. I think there's been a lot of back and forth, and there has been some movement. But Dana's exactly right. This is a very close election. It sounds like a cliche, but most elections are not this close. 2008 was not this close. 2010 was not this close. Those were wave elections. It's clear that this election is not going to be one of these elections. And while it does look like the Electoral College math is a lot harder for Romney, and he's still working to put away states that he can't win without, like Florida, like Virginia. You also see Obama clinging to very, very within the margin of error slim leads in states that he hoped to put away, like New Hampshire. So unfortunately, none of us are allowed to sleep through Election Day. We're all going to have to watch the polls to see what happens.
I will, however, let you gaze into your crystal ball, whether you like to or not, and give me a one-word answer. If there is a state that keeps us awake on election night, what will it be? The conventional wisdom is Ohio. Molly?
Well, just because of the time zone difference, it'd have to be Colorado or Nevada.
What do you think, Dana?
Oh, I'm hoping for a recount in Hawaii. I'm ready to go out there.
I'm with you on that one.
You beat me.
I'm with you. Dana Milbank, Molly Ball. May we all be going west if there is a delay. Thank you both.
Thanks, Chris.